Hello, YouTube subscribers. Today or tonight, whenever you're watching this, I am doing another horror movie review. And this horror movie review today/tonight, whenever you're watching this, is the very first. Yes, I am starting with the very first Final Destination movie. Now, uh, I'm only doing I'm going to do through this week, through this whole entire week, one after one after one of all five Final Destination movies, leading up to this weekend movie review, which is going to be the new Final Destination movie, the sixth movie of the franchise. But something is telling me to go see it, and if I go see it, if I'm able to go see it this weekend, I will review it and explain more why. But today's talk is about the very first one. Now, yes, I would review the fifth movie first, in my opinion. But timeline-wise, I would have reviewed the fifth movie first. But release-wise, I'm going to review by release and not timeline. Because, which, when I get to number 5, I will explain why, timeline-wise, that it would. But if you have not followed the Final Destinations movies, and if you're not that complete depth of a fan, then... Now, am I a complete depth fan of the Final Destination franchise? No. But do I know the timeline enough like a fan? Yes. Do I like all the movies? No, which I will say throughout my reviews of the week. Now, the first one, after rewatching the first one after so many years, honestly, the first one always has been my favorite. I liked it the first one. I never had any problems, but now rewatching it, honestly, I'm like, I still enjoyed it. I still had fun in the beginning when it was starting to do its thing. As everybody now knows how it goes. I didn't really have any problems. Like the kills were still good to me. The graphics was still good to me. Like, even though for a very old movie, there was some things that I'm like, okay, here's this, here's that. But honestly, I will say the graphics is still good no matter what. A movie's gonna age badly, great, whatever. Like The Breakfast Club, that aged great. It will always have. But I will say, as fans truly believed that the other movies in the franchise have gone real with their kills really Looney Tune-ish. Yeah, it is more obvious. But in the movie, if you look in the first movie, the very first one, and you actually pay attention, it is Looney Tune of most of the kills. If you actually really think about it. It is not thrown out there where it is noticeable, but it's there if you pay attention enough where it can be noticeable. Like, for a example, the train scene where Carter parks a fucking car in the middle of the train tracks, and right when our main character, uh, um, I forgot, I forgot his name. Shit. Uh, ripped Carter out of the car right when, and they luckily jumped right when the angle of the camera actually shows the train hitting the freaking car. Um, when I watched that just now, I'm like, if I know the camera just focused on the train hitting the car for suspense, but I'm like, there was also a camera that showed them jumping before the train hit the car, yeah, which would have not really give suspense, but I'm like, it would have made sense, but the angle of how the camera was with the train and car and how it automatically looked like the train hit the car right before they were able to jump, yeah, it looked like they were going to be dead and not survive, in my opinion. But it's what, to me, that's the bit of Looney Tunes. That and the teacher kill. Like the rest of it was good. I tried to find nitpicks during that scene, but I really couldn't. Um, it, the bus scene, I couldn't really find any I I really tried to find nitpicks in each scene of the first Final Destination movie, but the one problem that I had, just a one little teeny tiny problem, was more of the car scene. Yes, it did look realistic, but it did look a bit Looney Tune-ish. Maybe not thrown out there on, like, noticeable in your face, but if you actually really pay attention compared to the rest of the movies, the rest of the franchise, kills and whatever, including with the rest of the movie, yes, uh, Billy, right? Billy, the one that got like half his face, like half from like basically got half his face chopped off by, I think, the license plate or part of the car. That seemed okay. That was, people could say a bit Looney Tune-ish. Um, the ending, the end, not like the very end, but the end where the where he grabbed the cable to save his girlfriend and electrocute himself to kill himself. That some people could say is Looney Tune-ish, but including survive after, but some people have proven you can survive from that. Depends. Yeah, whatever. But there, I really want to put this movie down by some points, but it's, even though I liked it when I was a kid, liked it the first movie right away, automatically, but it is still hard to find, but to be where I am and doing what I want to do for my viewers as a movie review. For any first movie, it is hard to try and find negatives, because how good the first movie can be. How, if you look at the other movies in the franchise and try to say those are better compared to the first movie, it is a bit hard sometimes. But overall, the first movie is still good. I still love it. It's like my first pick over the top, wanting to watch automatically out of any Final Destination movies. Um, do I like all the kills? Yes. Do I got a personal favorite? Of course. My personal favorite of one of the kills in the first movie. Mm, I want to say it could be the car scene. After trying to nitpick negatively about that scene, um, uh, where Carter is just like relaxing on the car and then just all of a sudden he tries to start the car and then gets ripped out of the car by the seatbelt slowly ripping. Um, there's that scene, or or mm, I want to say my other favorite scene could be where Todd dies, which is the very first kill after the plane incident. Now I do have to say the artistic of the art movie of the heart of this movie, because I do gotta say, just like superhero movies, action movies, along with horror movies, it does somewhat have some art aspect to it. Now, I will say the art aspect to the first Final Destination movie would be the vision, the plane blowing up vision scene, where you just got like the plane shaking, everybody be thrown out of the plane left and right, people exploding. I do gotta say that's more of what I see as the art scene, the creativity, the the great the good effects. Now, my favorite comedy part of the movie is more of the ending. Like I love the movie. I love the comedy throughout the movie from beginning to end. But my ultimate favorite comedy scene is more at the very end. Is once they all get to Paris, they're all after they celebrate, and then after Carter saves our main character. I mean, they're all our main characters, but really, the main character with the vision that we do follow more. After Carter saves him from the sign falling, I just love how Carter's like. I just love how Carter was like, then who's next? And then all of a sudden, the scene, the sign hits Carter from behind, and I'm like, and rewatching that, I'm like laughing my ass off because that's like the hilarious scene you could ever watch. Wow. Well, thinking, Kay, yeah, if you had enough time knowing that you're going to be next, wouldn't you want to jump out of the way, even knowing that, okay, yeah, the other guy will still not get hit because you probably knocked him out of the way far enough for that sign not to hit him, but like move yourself out of the way so it doesn't hit you as well. So in a way, you're like saving your own ass. But other than that, that's my like favorite scene out of the whole entire movie. I do like the story plot. I do like the aspect of um of how how this director took the idea of a plane explosion, a plane accident, and this kid automatically having a vision out of nowhere about a plane exploding. And and I'll suddenly get after waking up from the vision, from the dream, getting off and with these uh with a bunch of kids and teacher, and all suddenly one by one they start dying in the order as they did on the plane. Now, once it got halfway to the ending, I started thinking, okay, wait, if he did switch seats, but if she was still ahead of him before he and he was of what, a few seats behind her, um, and sitting right next to Todd. I started to think, okay, well, wouldn't he be next after Todd, really? And then I paused the movie and started thinking, I'm like, wait, technically, if I re-picture the scene, Todd Todd got hit in the back of the head from with something black, like a bag or something. And if it was a bag, he must have hit the bag must have hit his head, back of his head, hard enough where he also hit the seat in front of him hard enough as well to actually kill him. Because I think I think at that part it actually did kill him. And then I actually remember, wait, our main character that had the vision, it still survived, still watching everything for it. And then, yeah, it was the teacher before him, the teacher, and then basically, um, um, the bully's girlfriend, um, then the one that got killed by the license plate or a part of the car later on after the train hit the car, crushed the car. And then it was him and our main character and his girlfriend. But I about but also looking over that scene, I also realized, okay, yeah, well, if he was a seat or a few seats behind her, she died the same time as he did when the plane exploded. Because if you think about it, he died when the plane exploded. So when and if the plane exploded, took her, then him, sure, you could say that she still went before he did. But I truly feel like saying they went at the same time when the plane exploded. So, but hey, that's just me. Anyone could argue with that. But I truly still give this movie, the very first Final Destination, 5 out of 5. 5 bodies out of 5. And I do like the death aspect, and I love Tony Todd's acting in this. I mean, I love him as Candyman. To me, I love him. When I think of Tony Todd, I think right away I think of Candyman. I don't think of him in Final Destination or Venom, but I think of him as Candyman. Now, a few others may disagree, which is fine. But also, if you allow me to go on, then I would say, well, after Candyman, sure, I think of Final Destination, the voice of Venom. Also, I also think he was one of the voices for the characters in Flash. Um, yeah, he was. He was the voice for Zoom. Uh, um, when Zoom did the whole voice thing. So and but I still love Tony. Sorry, I still love Tony Todd in this franchise. I think in the very first movie he did a very good. I loved how his character came in and came out, and it didn't really affect the movie too much. I love how he really explained things about death, and then how he real quickly brought out the Green Reaper, and how much we wouldn't want to fuck with him if he stepped in. Now, I've learned over the years that yes, in some cases, death and the Grim Reaper, there are some different rarities as that, and Supernatural kind of stepped on that subject where yes, they instead of calling them death, they called them reapers. And what if the Grim Reaper is just the main leader, the main core of it all, and he has reapers, other disciples that does the job for him. He gives them the task, and he oh and I truly believe, I think that's what Tony Todd was quickly throwing out there, is that death, a reaper, you're messing with one of those. But if you mess with them too long and get the Green Reaper's attention, then you basically stepped over another border of another playground that you don't want to be in. But drop your comments down below. What did you think of the very first Final Destination movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Please hit that like button if you liked this video. Please hit that dislike button if you didn't like this video. Also, if you hit that dislike button and didn't like this video, also put down in the comments what you did not like me doing in this video, so I can change that later on in future videos. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, I recommend you hit that subscribe button if you liked this video, so I can provide you more videos to head your way. Have a nice day, have a nice night whenever you're watching this. Peace.